Hello, my name is Jonathan Rios. I am an electrical designer, and today we're going to be talking about our electrical department sheet setups. And for this project, I will be going over a Dutch Bros project that I did work on. And I am going to be trusting that you previously watched our videos for how we save down our files that we received from the architect, and also how we set up our XREFs. And the way this project is going to go is we're going to start with our E0.1 sheet and we're going to move forward from there. Okay, so we're going to begin with our E0.1 sheet. We're going to start by XREFing in the title block. So let's do that. And you want to make sure everything's at 1:1. Now we're going to bring in our ASEI logo. Come up here to the top, drop downs, title blocks, ASEI sheet logo. For this project, we're going to be using our non-Texas logo. Please be sure to use the one that corresponds to your project. So I'm going to place the logo 0.25 left and 0.25 upwards from this corner. Now this is going to stay here on all of your electrical sheets. It's going to be in this exact same corner. So go ahead and you want to fill in your job number. This checked by is going to be the engineer that's reviewing your project. This is the designer that's going to be on this project that you're working with. And this is the drafter's initials, so you can put your initials there. For our E0.1 sheet, we want to bring in from our electrical drop down, go to Sheets, Sheet E0.1, and you want to bring this and you can place it somewhere on the sheet for now. It comes in as a block, so what we want to do first is line it up with our logo. So I'm going to grab this endpoint and then I'm going to reference off of this corner here, and I'm just going to slide it up and place it here. This way everything stays lined up and there's no weird shifting lines. We also want to go ahead and click the block, and if you type in burst, it's going to undo the block, and now you have individual files. You have text here in white, that's in def points. Go ahead and erase all of that that's in def points. These are just notes for you to look at so you know what's going on. What we're going to talk about today is specifically our sheet index and our general notes. And we also have the lighting system functional test. For this, we're going to remove it for this project, and if you're not sure if to keep it or not, please speak with your designer that you are working with on this project for clarification. I just trimmed those lines. It's good to get a good idea of what the project is and what the scope of work is. This will define which sheets you're going to use. For this project, we will not have any demolition. It's going to be a ground up project. So I'll delete those two, and I'm just going to slide these up. Again, if you're not sure which ones to delete or to adjust, leave it for now and speak with your designer and they will help you. And last, we'll have this section here. It's multicolored to help you differentiate between the sections that are spoken of in these notes. For now, we're just going to leave it here. Now, if you notice, we need a sheet description and a sheet number to label. So I'm going to go to our job folder. In our A folder of your project, go ahead and open up where you have your title block that the architect sent you. And you want to go ahead and select the sheet number, and if you see they have a sheet description. So per architect, this will change slightly in locations. So just please grab per architect that you're working with. And I'm just going to bring it into our sheet. And I'm going to rename it E0.1. And for the sheet name, I'm going to come over here to our sheet index. Here it tells you what sheet you're on and what each sheet name should be. So if you ever have any confusion on what to name the sheet, you can look at the sheet index. I'm going to copy this, come back to our sheet description, and just paste that there. So here you go. Here is our electrical sheet setup for E0.1. So we're going to move on to our E0.2 sheet. We already brought in the title block, our logos, everything's in. We want to go ahead now, and this is for our specifications. So we'll go to electrical at the top in the drop down. You want to go to sheets, E0.2. Now I'm going to click this off to the side for now. So what we have here is our specifications that we use for our company. They're specifications to the contractor. So we have two options here. What we have is a mtext version, and then we have it's called dtext for direct text, and this is manual sentences, so everything is separated into its own line. So for this project, we're going to work with the mtext. Now when you're setting up the projects in regards to the E0.2 sheet, you do not want to copy the AutoCAD file from your E0.1 and reuse it for this sheet. When you do that, the mtext will come in and nothing will be aligned, and so all of your items here will be unorganized. So you have to be sure you create a brand new sheet that is straight from AutoCAD. You do not want to copy over anything for this specific sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it. We're going to move it into our title block. For now, I'm going to place it somewhere where it fits inside. We're going to have to edit this. If you're not sure how to edit these, you can leave it and have your designer help you with clarifying which sections need to go. Again, we have a multicolored text. This is to help you differentiate between these sections. So we have too much here. It's fitting off of our title block. So what we're going to do is split this between two different sheets. So I'm going to go ahead and open up or create a brand new E0.3 sheet. We're going to name it as 0.2. Just jump over to E0.3. And what I'm going to do now is go back here to our E0.2. I'm going to copy with a reference point and bring it over, and I want to place it in the exact same spot. So because these sheets were created brand new, when I copied over the text, it stayed aligned. So that can be done. So I'm going to go back to E0.2. Go ahead and double click into the mtext. Then zoom out a little bit. And I'm going to get rid of from the red text for here, and we're going to just backspace. And you want to get rid of this last portion here. Now I have a much smaller text to work with. I'm going to slide it over. And you want to also click on it and move it up so it's not overlapping on your ASEI logo. So I'm going to slide the line above. So now we have what looks like this. And so we'll go to our E0.3 sheet, and everything from that red going forward, we were going to delete that section since we already showed it on our E0.2 sheet. So make sure you highlight everything that's in there. And you want to just get rid of all of this other portion. Okay, so we're going to slide it over to our right. And the reason you want to slide this over to the right and not leave it on the left side of the sheet is because when we submit these sheets to the architect and they print them out, they bind them together, and the binding is on our left side. So we don't want text to be too close over here in case that when they're flipping through the sheets, they don't see the text. So we try to move it over to our right side of the sheet. So here we go. And so you can leave it multicolored for now. And when you speak with your designer, you can go over on which ones to remove and change it all to yellow when you're done for both of these. So let's move on to our E1.1 sheet for our electrical site plan. So we're gonna go ahead and let's jump into our model space. And we're going to XREF in our site. Select your site. Make sure it comes in at 1:1. So here we have our site that we're working on. Let's go ahead and go back to Paperspace. And what we want to do is go to our electrical drop down. And this time we want to come down to our notes. And we have a section called Site Plan Notes. Go ahead and bring that in. Place that on the side of your title block. This will come in as a block. So go ahead and just burst the block so you can access individually the items. And we're going to grab two items here. We're going to grab our site general notes and our site key notes. These two are going to be very important where you place them at first. So I'm going to place it here, and I'm going to grab my site key notes, and I'm going to move it, and I want this to align perfectly with my site general notes. So I'm going to bring it from this corner and slide it down here. These two are going to match every single other E sheet where you're going to use them. You may want to make sure that these are exact same locations. This one might change a little up and down, but they're going to be in this area here. So that's going to be on every sheet. Next, we want to bring in our utility note. It's this blue box here. The purpose of this is to let the reviewers know who the utility company is. So I'm going to bring this, and I want to line it up to the corner of my logo, and I'm going to move it up 0.25. So you can leave that there for now. Depending on the city that you're in, you want to go ahead and select your dig note. This lets the contractors call to make sure there's nothing underground. So I'm going to move that over from the corner of our utility note, again 0.25. So we just lined it up so everything looks neat you can go ahead and remove what's left of your utility note. If you're not sure which one to pick, go ahead and speak with your designer on that. Depending on the location of your project, these notes are here for your reference. Since we're not in these sections, we're going to just remove those, and I'll go ahead and remove these other ones. And again, if you're not sure, you can leave that on the side of your sheet. So next, I want to go ahead and bring in my viewport so we can see the site. So I'm going to bring in up here at setup, I'm going to bring in certain layers. So I want to bring in general. And so you should have a depth points layer. You want to be on that layer. Make sure you're on that layer. Let's MV for multi-view. Go ahead and click. And then click. So you have your site. When you go in, make sure you select your scale. And the scale you want to use is dependent on the scale the architect is using. So I went ahead and typed in our scale, and that's going to be the one that matches the architect. So if you're not clear, you can look in your A folder. There should be a PDF from the architect showing which one. So I want to bring in a plan title. I'm going to go into the ASEI blocks, go to blocks. You want to bring in a new plan title with the north arrow. Select that. Bring that in, center it to your viewport. You want to verify your north arrow. You can look at Google Maps, look at the address and see the rotation of your building and make sure that it's facing north. Now we're going to name our sheet. This is our electrical site plan. Make sure all your text is in caps. Your scale, again, you can verify on the architect sheets. This one is going to be 1:20. And so I have this here. A few more items before we edit the background. We're going to go into our electrical again. Go down to details. You can bring in a pole mounted fixtures. You'll have these schedules. Details come down. You want to look at them. They come in as a block. So go ahead and burst. For this one, I'm going to use our purple or magenta. And you want to place that over here. Another one is a detail for a trench. This is where the utility is going to be trenching in. We want to show a detail for that. Comes in as a block. Go ahead and burst it. You're going to want to see who your utility company is. So we have different details. For this one, it will be with SRP. So I'm going to move it from this corner. And I want to line it up with my other detail. I'm going to move it over 0.25 again. I'm going to slide my plan title. I'm going to slide it up. And I can pull in my viewport just a little bit over so it's not overlapping. And you want to line up your details to your logo so everything's lined up. So this should be on your paper space. You should look at this for now. It should look about this. Let's go to model space. We're gonna make a few edits here. So you wanna be sure to get rid of dimensions that the architect sends over in the background. You can just freeze that. We'll freeze these tags. And so we have this right here. So we have our site, there's parking lots, our building is over here, there's seating here. This reference for the cars, that's your driveway. So we're gonna leave it like this for now. And so here we go. This is our sheet setup for E 1.1. Okay, so we're gonna start with our photometric plan. That's our E 1.2 sheet. So let's go to our model space. and we're going to xref in our site plan, and you want to use the same one you use for your electrical site plan. Make sure your scales are at 1:1. Hit OK. And I'm going to zoom extents, and this is asking if you want to regen. Let's hit OK. And you want to freeze the same layers you froze for your electrical site plan. Dimension going to go, keynotes are there, going to go, the little tags. And now we're going to go back to our paper space. You want to be sure you're on your def points layer. And now we're going to create our viewport. So I'm making my viewport here. It's going to ask me if I want to auto regen. You want to hit OK. If you hit cancel, it won't regen. And if you double click in it, it won't let you go into your viewport into model space. So let's try that again. This time we're going to hit the OK for auto regen. So now our viewport works. Everything came in. Let's double click into viewport. You want to make sure your scale is the same as your site plan. We're going to go to our ASEI blocks again, new plan title with your north arrow, bring that in. Double click. Let's change this to photometric plan. And the scale is going to be the same as your site plan. So for now, you're going to leave it like this. The purpose of the photometric plan is to show the foot candles that are in your site for the light poles that are going to be there. So I'm going to show you what one looks like completed. So here you can see we have the schedule down here. And where this information comes from is from your lighting rep. You'll send them the background and they're going to place pole locations if the architect hasn't selected any. And what's going to happen is they're going to show calculations showing all these numbers here. These are the foot candles at every spot around the parking lot. And so they'll send this over to you. You'll reset up the sheet with this information on it. So for now though, we're going to go ahead and leave our sheet looking like this, and your designer should be able to help you send it over to the lighting reps. And this is all you need to do for your photometric plan for the setup. Okay, so we're going to jump over to our E 1.3 sheet, and this is for our exterior light fixture cut sheets. Now, if your project warrants to add the exterior light fixture cut sheets, you want to go ahead and create a sheet, E 1.3, and for now, we're going to leave it blank. And what's going to happen here is the lights that you're going to be placing outside, you're going to want to show those cut sheets on here. And I can show you what one looks like when it's completed. And so what we will do is bring in your PDFs of the light fixtures, and you're going to drop them in, line them up like so. So if you want to follow along, I can show you real quick how to bring one in the future. Again, for now, because you're setting it up, you won't have anything. And the reason for that is we're just starting the project, and you need to speak with the lighting reps for the pole locations or with your designer, and they will help you go to a website and download those cut sheets. And you want to save them in your project folder, in your E folder under light fixture cut sheets. You can make a folder, name that. And this is where you'll download all of your PDFs. So if you want to follow along with us, you can grab the DSX0. This is our pole fixture. So all we're going to do again is just drag and drop over. It's going to ask you what page you want to bring in. You want to bring in your first page. And you're just going to line it up here. Scale, just bring them in at 1:1, rotation at 1:1. And so you can see I brought in this fixture, and this is our pole fixture. And then what I want to do is label the fixture it is. So I'm under type section, you want to go ahead and click, and we're going to put in SA/SB, and that will be because for this project, this is what we labeled our poles. And so you want to speak with your designer to make sure you put the right identification of the pole there. And so you can go ahead and bring in your other sheets for all your other poles or exterior fixtures, building lights. And if you run out of space, what you can do is create a E1.4 sheet and add some extra ones that you need there. So again, for now, you'll have a blank sheet, but for future reference, when you do bring one in, you'll do one like so. And so that's all we need to do today for our E1.3 sheet.